Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection, but it's Power Rangers X Street Fighter Lightning Collection, Morphed RYU / Crimson Hawk Ranger. These things came out of left field, or right field, or whatever the saying is. I do believe this is the same design my buddy Champa drew forever ago, and that was the first time I saw anything of it, and I thought it was just the most wonderful thing ever. I like RYU, I like Power Rangers, and I think it's just a really good combination of the two. I love the concept. Did Hasbro execute the figure well enough to make it worth buying? That's the question we're going to find out in this review. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. I will note before we get into the review, the artwork on the box, which I don't think you'll find these in stores. Maybe you will. I think they're only online. Doesn't match, or not the artwork, the photo doesn't match. The colors are way off. Brighter red, duller gold. Different look. There's gold around the eyes, whereas this doesn't really have it. Oops. Also, I think an alternate unmasked head. That would have really, really been awesome. That would have been the icing on the cake. Or as I heard recently, the cherry on the icing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our regular review as we normally would. Okay, this guy stands roughly 6 1/4 inches, and that's going to make him just about 16 centimeters. That's a little bit shorter than we're used to, but I think that's a pretty good scale. As far as Marvel Legends scaling goes, that seems all right by me. And I have to say, before we do a question of the day, I just want to mention this before I forget. I really like the proportioning on this figure. It has a very Power Ranger look to it, but it does have the Street Fighter bigger hands look, slender body, that kind of thing. Very pleased with it overall. Now let's do a quick question of the day. Do you like this cross-up? And if you do, is it because you're a fan of either of these properties, or do you just think it's a really cool design, or what are your thoughts? Let's just do that. What are your thoughts on this cross-up? I like it a whole bunch. I have to say though, RYU is by far the best one. Chun-Li looks okay, I'll be reviewing her too. Not so sure about the other two, I think they look kinda iffy. But this one I really like. So let's dive into the aesthetic. We'll start with the details right here. Belt looks pretty darn clean, line work is good. Line work on the suit is good, but yeah, the line work is super clean. The gold triangles on the boots, no major problems there. The gloves have the logo on there, very, very clean, very nice and crisp. No real issues all the way around. Line work is continued on the back. I have to say, they did an excellent job on the line work here. It's so well executed. It's so consistent and nice looking. I love it. And then for the helmet, it's very well done. It doesn't have the gold around the hawk eyes that the artwork on the box shows, but it's still pretty good. It's very clean, and the visor has a little bit of a semi-gloss or satin finish to it. It looks really nice. It could definitely be elevated with a little bit of paint, since there's very little paint here other than the detail stuff, but it does look really good. Pinless joints throughout, so if you like that, that's good. I'm very pleased with the overall aesthetic on this guy. I'm going to go 9 out of 10. A little bit of paint on there would go a long way, but it is a good looking figure. Now, as far as accessories go, like I said, no alternate head. A RYU head would have been awesome. Would have been so cool. But they didn't do it. So we have the 2 fist hands that come out in the package, and we get 2 open hands. That's cool. We do get a fire accessory, which is for his foot, or for a kick. RYU's not really known for his kicks, so I find that very strange. RYU's all about the uppercut and the fireball. Like, those are his main things. I mean, I know Ken's also known for the uppercut, but still, kicking is not a thing RYU's known for, so that's weird. But the fire accessory is nice. You do get a fireball accessory, which is pretty well done, and then you get a display stand to hold it. The display stand is made out of polypropylene, it looks like, which is milky and flexible and kind of weird, but you do get that, I guess. It's a weird height, though, too, because in order for him to be posed shooting it, he has to be standing straight up. If you bend his legs like you would for RYU, it's going to be in a weird position. That's not great. And then we do get this hawk accessory, which I don't know what you're supposed to do with this. I might be going crazy, but as far as I can tell, there's no way to connect this to the stand or anything. He can't hold it. He can't. It just exists, and it's cool, but I don't know what the heck it's for, so that's weird. So accessory-wise, I'm going to go 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's just weird that RYU got a kicking accessory and that there's no RYU head. So a little bit weird, but still decent enough. Okay. I just noticed a weird thing about the stripes. Whoever designed the stripes, I have a question for you. Not that you're watching this, but so these lines in the middle track down the leg, all right? And these lines in the front underneath the underneath the belt, that tracks down to the leg. But then you also have these lines right here, which don't connect to anything. Did someone get confused? What's going on there? They're clean as heck, don't get me wrong, I'm still happy, but those don't line up. That's weird. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. The head, ball peg for the head, and then the neck is also on a little bit of a peg. It's not really going to do much, but it does have it. So, is it going to pose well enough? Yes, it's good enough. That big ball peg is going to carry the most of the weight, and it'll be okay. So I'll take it. It's better than a hinge ball peg. The tie on the helmet is actually ball pegged, which is what I've been talking about for a million years. I don't know why they never do this on Marvel Legends. It's very simple. It's just a little ball peg, and it goes right in the hole that you would be gluing the bandana into anyway. So I love that. That's very nice. This is a floating piece, by the way, so it will wiggle around as you're posing, which is probably a good thing. The shoulders are on a butterfly joint, which it does go back a little bit. It's pretty hideous the way they've sculpted it. It doesn't really work. Going forward, you get very little. I don't know if you can pop this apart and fix it like the Black Panther and other Marvel Legends, but it's not the best butterfly joint at all. For the shoulders, though, you get better than horizontal range. That's nice. You get your full rotation, not counting where this is in the way. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow works nicely, no problems there. Wrists are on a swivel and a hinge, that's fine. Wrists are a little bit tricky to swap out, by the way, so be careful. They're kind of tight in there. Maybe a little hair dryer action or some hot water would help. Diaphragm joint does lean back. The gold lines are continued, so that's good. Very little range, but it is there. Leaning forward, you get almost none. Side to side is solid, though I like that. Rotation is okay. You do get the ab crunch down here. The line work is not continued throughout, but you do get a decent range on that ab crunch. Going forward, it's okay. It's still pretty limited, and again, they did not continue the line work there, but it's okay. Is there a waist twist? There is not. It's only the diaphragm joint. These tassels do not rotate, by the way. Tassels, belt ties, they don't rotate, but they do flex, and the belt can move a little bit, but not really. Now the hips are on the bane of my existence, hinge ball pegs that have virtually no drop down. I don't get why they keep doing that. We do get the full-on splits, that's regardless of the hinge ball peg, so that's a good thing. I like the hips going out to the side. Bringing the hips forward with the leg up without using the hinge, they do hit horizontal. That's fine. Dropping it down, they hit just slightly better than horizontal. It's not worth it. You don't get enough gain for having that extra hinge, which makes posing him a pain in the ass, and it increases budget, or increases cost to produce. It's just not necessary. His hips are also a little bit wide, but no big deal. So yeah, the hinge ball peg just serves basically no purpose. They don't go back very far at all. You do get your thigh swivel, that's fine. Double jointed knee works nicely. Proportions are pretty good, still slightly off, but not bad. I'll take it. And then we get our boot swivel. We get an ankle joint that goes all the way back, and not as far forward as I would like, but a little bit. You get your ankle rocker, which is decent, but with that boot swivel, it's going to be perfect. So yeah, it's a solid batch of articulation. Oh god, these freaking hips. I hate that. As soon as you try to pose one, you pose the other one. Or at least when you're doing the left leg. The right leg seems fairly independent, but this one does not. Very annoying. Okay, so articulation on this guy, I'll give it an 8, but it definitely could be better, and there's some things that they just don't need to do. Those hips they just need to go. They almost never serve a purpose, but it is solid overall. I think it's going to pose pretty well, and it does look good. So let's give it a final verdict. It's time to say I think this is one of Hasbro's best Power Ranger releases ever. Most of the Power Rangers themselves look cheap and unfinished and poorly executed, and this one is everything but that. They did a really good job. It's such a strange thing to have the Street Fighter Power Ranger crossover and Hasbro making some sort of Street Fighter figures, but they hit it out of the park. Like, this is definitely better than any of the Power Ranger figures that I reviewed. Maybe not better than like Goldar or something really good, but I'm going to give it a final verdict of 8 out of 10. It is really solid. It does have a bit of a higher price point, but they did a really good job. A little bit of room for improvement, but it is a nice release. If you're at all inclined to get this, you should get it. I think you will enjoy it quite a lot. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.